What's up, Mortgage Coach community? Dave Savage. This is my second interview today, and I am super pumped to be interviewing Scott Morse, top producer, coming to you live out of San Diego, right, man? You're in San Diego market?
That's right, San Diego. Live in Central Coast, Carmel Valley, right outside Del Mar.
Love it. Well, that is God's country. I mean, does the weather ever get bad there? I mean, is it just beautiful every day of the week?
It's pretty nice, although my AC broke last week for about 10 days, and it was 83 degrees and about 70% humidity when this hurricane rolled through, and it was. I had to get the fans. It wasn't easy to sleep because I'm used to having a little air conditioning when necessary, but it was warm.
Well,
but other than that, it's like you said, it's got.
We're not. The rest of America is not feeling too much pain for you, bro. Between the loan amount size that you have in coastal San Diego and the weather that you have, there's no pity for you.
Doesn't get any better.
Yeah. So Scott, I love the vision of today's call for everyone listening to this. Scott's like, Dave, I listen to a lot of your calls, and I'll listen to the 30-minute, 1 hour call because that's what I do. I'm all about getting better, and I'll do it. But a lot of people are only going to tune in for 10 or 15 minutes. So he's got some content he wants to share. And so I want you to think of this interview as two parts. There's going to be a first 15 minutes. We're going to hit you hard with some ideas that Scott thinks are important. And then I'm going to, cut chapter 2, questions I have for Scott as a top producer. Scott, before we get into your, call it your TED Talk that you want to deliver to the community, what kind of production are you doing? How many loans did you close last month?
Last month was 48 loans, probably the best months I've ever had ever. Maybe I did 1 month like that back in 2003 in the heyday for over 23 million. Year to date, my goal was to do help 150 families this year. I'm at 178, and I'm at over 90 million.
What do you think you'll be for the year in terms of total volume and production?
I think I'm going to hit. Between I should hit around 300 loans this year.
Wow. So guys,
I don't know what the volume is. I don't worry about the volume. I don't worry about the money. I only worry about helping people at the end of the day. And it's kind of part of my mindset.
Well, you are one of America's best loan officers, and you're one of America's most successful loan officers. I interviewed Jeremy Forcier yesterday, and again, you guys share the same thing. Among the best of the best, and you guys are just doing ridiculous volume. So I know you had this passion that you wanted to share these things called words that will guarantee your success, words and phrases. So first of all, before you tell us what they are, why did you want to share this with the mortgage coach community? What's your why?
So my why is, first of all, I love giving back. First, Dave, I love you. I just got to thank you for creating Mortgage Coach. I stumbled upon it in late 2017. I've been doing this business, maybe it was late 2016. I've been in this business since 1992 for 28 plus years. I closed 63 million in 2016, and I was just like, this is no fun. I was not having any fun. I stumbled across your Facebook and Friday Mortgage Call, and I listened to it once, and it happened to be when you were doing a Darren Hardy promotion. Started listening to that. And I just got to thank you for creating such a wonderful collaborative community of people who give back. Jeremy is a superstar. I'm honored to be even mentioned in the same sentence with him by you. I appreciate that. And Josh and everybody, Denise, all the people, guys, it's a wonderful community. Todd, Bookspan, I've learned so much from you guys. It's really revitalized my career, my energy, to try to be better every day. And I've created my, kind of my new career since then around Mortgage Coach. I use Mortgage Coach exclusively. It's a pillar of my education-based mortgage practice. And I use it every day, every borrower, and I make a video for every single one of my Mortgage Coach. I call them a loan clarity analysis because that's part of my talk is, hey, my job is to educate you, get you confidence so you can make clear decisions and be super excited to do whatever you're going to do, buy a house, buy your first house, buy your 10th house, buy an investment property or refinance, etc. And it's just awesome. At the end of the day, it's revised my career. I've gone from 36 million in 17 to 18 was 45 million, 19 was 70 million. I'm at 90 million so far this year. So I have a big gratitude of thanks to give you. And I want to give back to the community, and it's not hard, and I'm having fun doing it. I mean, I'm loving it. It's so much fun. I can't believe it.
Well, guys, you hopefully just got to take away loan clarity analysis. We call it the total cost analysis, but I love just hearing how different people that are in the trenches talking to families, you're putting your personality around it, you're putting your brand around it, and then you're just putting, your sense of purpose around it. So guys, that was a script. Put it on pause, go back and listen to that phrasing, the words. So I know you have a 10 minutes worth of words and phrases that you think, I think the way you framed it to me when we were doing the prep was, this is what I do. Like, this is what I do every day with every client all day long. And you think our community will get value from it. So share it, man. Unpack it.
Sure. So let me unpack it. So first of all, you have to, again, I use Mortgage Coach as an educational piece. Everything I do is surrounded by my loan clarity analysis using Mortgage Coach. But you've got to have the mindset to help people, and help them understand the process. And at the end of the day, make them feel good every step of the way. People get my video, my Mortgage Coach. This is awesome. Thank you so much for personalizing this for me. And it's just you got to have that kind of a mindset. And if you start to get burned out or tired, then you got to take a step back, rebalance, and get into a mindset where you're helping people. I mean, there's lots of, there are no dumb questions I tell every client. And believe me, there are dumb questions, right? But you have to be patient and you have a helping mindset and answer the questions.
So quick insert right there, guys. When I interviewed Jeremy, he talks about good people deserve great advice. And you just heard from Scott, he's talking about helping people at the highest level. And that's when you have that commitment to help people at the highest level, that's when you're required to give the total cost analysis. Like, if you aren't committed to helping people at the highest level, a status quo fee worksheet, it's good enough. Or if you've got some homegrown Excel spreadsheet, that's good enough. In order to be playing at this level, you've got to have purpose in order to become that type of leader. So anyways, I just always find that interesting when I interview people like you that are killing it, and you're a purpose-driven professional that creates, you get through the pain of the change to learn to do it, and then you execute at a higher level. So love that. Keep it rolling, man.
So that reminds me of a moment where there are moments when I say, people ask me, well, what are your rates? I say, well, if you send me your mortgage statement, then I'll give you a link that gives you a comparison on how much you can save. Well, what are your rates? I said, well, I'm not going to give you your rates until I can give you a proper analysis. And it's tempting to say, okay, I'm just going to skip the Mortgage Coach this time. And I catch myself, I can't do it. I can't skip it, because they're not going to get it. They're not going to understand it. And then what it does is it paves the road for me, for my client, for a very smooth, trusting process. And they get to the end and they go, okay, yeah, you told me that. All right, great. I'll sign. Done. So I never skip it once. It's very important. So part of my mindset is, again, helping people, and you always got to try to find a way to say yes. You got to figure out how to say yes, whether it's a borrower, a realtor, an escrow officer, a processor, whoever it is, you got to figure out how to say yes. It may not be yes, I can't, or it might be no, I can't do that for you, but yes, I can do this for you. Okay. So everything's got to finish with yes. I have a whole kind of vocabulary around a feeling that I try to create with my clients that I just speak to every day. And I use success words, and every email I get, I say, hi, Dave, exclamation point, because I want them to smile. I want them to feel like I'm excited to talk to me. Jeremy mentioned that I've been doing this for years, but when he writes an email, he writes it not in one paragraph, but each point he tries to make is a separate paragraph. If you're not doing that, you're missing the boat. You got to be doing that. It just makes it so much easier for someone to read and understand what the point you're trying to get across. I use the Ford system, family, occupation, and recreation, dreams, to try to connect with people, weave it into a conversation. And I use a lot of words, education, clarity, confidence, thank you, thank you, thank you, appreciation, grateful, honored to be working with you, strategies. All my TCAs have strategies. I learned that from one of your guys. Build wealth, tax benefits, opportunity, excited, no pressure. I'm never going to pressure anybody to do anything. He says, I don't care if you borrow $100,000 or $1 million. I don't care what you borrow. I'm just here to help you understand it so you can make the best decision for yourself. Investment, flexibility, simple. We try to keep everything simple, and we're here to save you money. These are all words that I use in my daily vocabulary and weave them into, conversations. I'll always start off with phrases like, hi, Dave, I hope your family's doing well.
So time out before you do the phrases.
Yeah.
I have done calls like this before where we've unpacked what are the phrases, the keywords, the transition. And I would push everybody, especially if you're like new to the business, schedule an hour and write down what are your phrases? What are your words? This is a great exercise. So Scott, I want you guys to hear, he had how he describes the total cost analysis. He has what's your value prop? He's covered that. He's very clear on the words that he's using. Remember, guys, this is one of America's most successful loan officers, closed over 40 loans last month. And he's got this written down. So value prop, how you position your advice, words, and now we're going to hear phrases. And I'm going to push you all, listen carefully, take notes, and then create your own version. So rock it out on the phrases.
Sure. So whenever I meet someone for the first time, I'll always say again, hi, Dave, exclamation point. Very nice to meet you. Thank you for, reaching out to me. I always start with thank you because I want to thank them for reaching out to me or checking in with me. One other thing I always do is that we will educate you so that you can make the best decision for your family. It's a phrase I use almost every day. My job is not to get you a loan. My job is to educate you on the opportunity to build wealth through buying a house or saving money and help you make the best decision for your family. I'm here. I don't care which one you make. I'm just here to help you be clear about it so you're doing the right thing and maximizing and being efficiently as you could possibly with your money. I appreciate you. My referral partners, my clients give me referrals all the time, and I tell them, God, I can't thank you enough. I appreciate you so much. I'll talk to a client yesterday who I talked to in a long time, and we got to a kind of a funny story or laughing, and I said, you made my day. And she did. I'll share that with them, and they're like, oh, people light up when you tell them they make your day. Even if you don't, you can fake it till you make it. But when you tell them they make your day, it goes a long ways. It just cements that relationship. Great to hear from you. Another one. Haven't heard from in a while. Great to hear from you. Another one I use is there's no dumb questions. Please ask me anything you're wondering about. Anything. I'm here to help you make the best decision for yourself. One of the phrases is my goal is to help you save money and build wealth faster. And on my TCAs, my fourth strategy is called the Save Money, Build Wealth Payment. That's what I use. I use that as the fourth strategy. Every single loan on a refinance for sure, not so much on purchases because we're trying to get to a different place on those. And once they buy the house, then we'll do that.
So I just want to bold that verbally with everybody. My goal is to help you save money and build wealth faster with real estate. Guys, that's so powerful. I would just say that's a phrase that Scott shared. That's a phrase every mortgage professional in this community should have and use appropriately. And remember, guys, these are his words, his phrases. As he's sharing them, he's like, oh, I got that one from Josh. Oh, I got that one from Jeremy. That's the other thing. You're consuming content. This is my mortgage coach YouTube channel. Why? Is we have the best loan officers in America in this channel. Let's ask them what they're doing, how they're doing it. and play it forward. So I hope you're writing these things down, and I hope we're inspiring some of you to come up with your words, your phrases. But that's one that I don't care what market you're in. I don't care what your brand is. I think that's like universally needs to be on everybody's key phrases. Anyways, keep it going. This is awesome.
Sure, sure. You know, you get that one client says, well, what are your costs? What's this? What's that? And I said, look, I will walk you through a line by line breakdown of your costs. And by the time you're done with me, going through the link that I send you that compares all the options, you'll be clear and you'll know exactly what it costs. I'm going to show you how to save money in multiple ways, whether you're going to save it every month or where you can, reduce the amount of time you have that loan and save money off or save a lot of interest by paying your loan off faster. We'll walk you through the details so you can make the best decision for yourself is another one. Appraisal waiver. I just say that straight up. Well, what's that? My borrower will say, well, let me describe it to you. Then I'll describe what that is. And I can't do it until you give me all your information. I put you through my system and I can tell you whether we're going to be able to waive the appraisal so no one has to come in your house during the pandemic and save you $500. Oh, God, I'd love to try that. So just another way to get in. A big one I use a lot is people say, well, why you? Why should I use you? So, well, look, I'm different than most loan officers that you'll speak with. You're just not a transaction or a number to me like you are at a big box bank. And everybody has a loan at a big box bank in today's world, whether it's Quicken or Chase or Wells or B of A, whoever. Said, look, I'm here to educate you, help you save money and build wealth faster. So I'm quite different than what you're going to experience by going to one of those places where you're just a number in a transaction. Quite often I'll ask a client, hey, I have a favor to ask. And this is usually at the end when I'm calling to congratulate on their loan being closed. They're pumped, they're excited. I'm about to hang up with them and I have a favor to ask. And I ask them, hey, first of all, if you have any friends, family, or coworkers who could use my help, this might be the second time I've asked them this. But the real favor I ask is you're going to get an email from me for an online survey. If you had I know by this time you had a good experience. So if you have a few kind words to say and you can give me 5 stars, I'd really appreciate if you could complete the online survey. I'm in a contest to try and improve my status from last year. No one's ever said no. Another one I always use quite often is, again, there are people always checking around and checking rates. And I said, look, I know our rates are extremely competitive, and I know you have a fantastic experience with my process. Anybody can tell you they have better rates, because if I tell you a good rate, you can go online and get a loan from a guy in the basement, North Carolina, and he's going to have better rates, but you get to choose who you want to deal with. At the end of the day, I'll share with you, if someone has a better rate and I can't match it, then I'll tell you to go there. If I can match it, then you can choose who you want to work with. I know you'll have a good experience with me. And that's pretty much it, Dave. I use those all day, every day, and I mix those in with trying to connect with people on a personal level.
Love, love, love it. I'm going to share a couple more phrases and words that I want to push you guys to share. So I'm going to show a couple slides. So this is hot off the press. I mean, this was an interview that I did 2 weeks ago with Amber Kovarik. She closed 45 loans last month in Chandler, Arizona, killing it. But, start asking every refi, is this house working for you? By the way, Scott, did you see this interview by any chance?
I didn't see it yet. I haven't had a chance to watch it.
I
think I turned on the first couple minutes of it and then my phone.
Yeah, no problem. Well, I'll give you when we do the second chapter, I'll give you a highlight on that. Also, and you referenced Jeremy, guys, this is like programming yourself. When someone says thank you to you, always respond with, and usually that thank you comes at clear to close or approval. We love helping you. Put it in an email. Like when you see the interview I did with Jeremy, he just has a signature. And when someone says thank you during process, can you help me with something? My goal this year is to work with people I like. Can you introduce me to people that I should know and that I can help? Guys, this is his best converting referral source. I can't remember the exact number, but I want to say he closed like 8 loans this month that came from referrals in process where he asked this question. So are you doing this one, Scott?
No, I need to do that. That's great. I do have several templates that I use that I got from one of Jeremy's calls where I just click the button and it says, thank you for reaching out. Here, please click below to make sure you listen to the video. And I put in the mortgage coach. It's time. I want to have a conversation with you around what's strategy best for you. And then I put in the mortgage coach link. And I can literally do a mortgage coach and email it in like 6 minutes from start to finish.
Love it. Well, let's wrap this up. We've got a little over 10 minutes for this chapter 1, but one more.
Okay.
Start asking people, how old do you want to be when your home's paid off? And then net it out, like know within that conversation how old they want to be. So now your advice has more value. So guys, we're going to wrap up chapter 1 of this interview in this book. Scott has shared words and phrases that will create success. And our mutual push to you is create your list of words and phrases. Scott was kind enough to give me a Word document. So these are all written down. Scott, it's okay if we share this with the community?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm going to put it in a Google Doc so it's collaborative and editable. So if you're watching this in YouTube, there'll be a link to a Google Doc down below. If you're watching this in Facebook, there'll be a link to a Google Doc, and I'll kind of categorize it around Scott's. But guys, feel free to add to it. Like, I'm going to make it so you can edit it. If someone screws it up and deletes it, I'll fix it. But let's for the next couple of days, let's come up with a bunch of phrases and words that create success for the mortgage coach community. So Scott, anything else before we move into the second chapter?
No, I'm just grateful to be here and honored to be interviewed by you. I appreciate it.
Well, it's an honor to have you on the call, bro. You're a very busy dude. You make a lot of money, and this is purely given back to the community in the space. So thank you for that. So before I ask you questions, because you didn't see the interview with Amber, and this one strategy I think is just so critical to the mortgage coach community. So when I did the interview with her, I go, Amber, what's new? Like what are you seeing more of than normal? And she says, I'm seeing about 20% of my refis, they're not digging the house that they're in. So she's like, I'm asking everybody, and she's not asking everybody, but she's asking a lot of folks, is the home you're in still working for you? And then she's got her market and her personality. She kind of, here's her full script, guys, take a picture. And then this is a real world example where she basically created a TCA where she said, hey, here's your current loan. This family wanted to do a refi. So they could refi and save $322. But she said, let's look what moving up looks like. And in this particular case, moving up with 5% down would have raised their payment. So refinancing was $322, moving up with 5% down and keeping their home, which they qualified for, would have been increasing their payment. And then she said, well, hey, if you want, you qualify, I can approve you. You can buy your move up non-contingent, but then when you sell the home, you can recast the mortgage, use your equity, and buy down your rate. So this family could have moved up into their dream home and saved $164. So first of all, I thought it was a great use of a TCA to tell that story. And as Scott would say, a move up clarity analysis. But guys, here's the big win. This family said, hey, we got a financial planner. We get about 8% on our money. They conservatively said, well, what if we didn't recast and we put that 125 in the bank or in an interest-bearing account, which guys, in COVID times, who doesn't want an extra 100 grand in an interest-bearing account that's liquid? Everybody wants that. But here's how the story played out, guys. Over 15 years, based off of the client's assumption on appreciation rates, based off the client's assumption on appreciation rate, they went from calling Amber and saying, hey, let's refi to let's improve our cash reserves by 50%. Let's improve our net worth by 60%. And guys, here's the big win of all. The real estate agent gets a listing and a real estate agent gets a move-up buyer. So guys, it's never been more important to be an advisor. So first of all, what are your thoughts on that? Is that pretty sweet?
I love it. I think that's a home run. I mean, I'm gonna start looking for that now. Great idea. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a
So
home
you're going
run.
to add that question to your list of
Absolutely.
questions?
Absolutely. Home
Sweet.
run.
Sweet. All right. So let's do this. So I'm going to ask you the question, how are you using Mortgage Coach most often right now? What are your most common strategies that you're using?
So on a refinance, I'm using it to help, depending on the conversation and what people are looking to do. I typically will, I have a process for everything. And my process is this: hey, Scott, I want to refinance. Great. Best way to start is send me a copy of your current mortgage statement. From that, I can go in, I can look up the value, I can build a mortgage code for their current loan. I can do an apples to apples comparison because I can see if they have impounds or no impounds. Okay. I'm making 4 strategies, strategies 1, 2, and 3. And then the 4th strategy being what I call the save money, build wealth payment. And I send them that automated email that I have. I click the button and it pops up the email. I put in their name. I put in loan clarity analysis. I put in the link. Said, hey, here's a link for you to, it's a whole script basically. Basically, the gist is, here's some rates. Here's some strategy to help you save money, build wealth faster. Let's have a conversation around what will work best for you. And in that conversation comes, okay, well, what are your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? Do you have any other debts you need to pay off? And then on the phone with them, I will change the strategy. Oh, you have a car, or some people have these ideas of what they want to do, and my job is again to educate them. Well, here's a better way to do it. You want to come up with $10,000 to complete your refinance, but you have a solar loan at 6%, and you have a car loan at 3.2%. You have a credit card balance of 10,000. Okay, let me show you how. If you don't come up with that 10,000, I can save you even more money than you even thought you could save to begin with. This is saving you $300 a month, and here's some different options to do that. Low, medium, and high cost, depending on your time horizon in the house. And I'll go through that with them and get to a place where where they can't not see the value that we're providing, and you can't not say no, like, oh, I want to go somewhere else. By that time, they're like, okay, what do I do next?
Love that.
See the link in the top left corner? Click that button and you can answer my online questionnaire. Once you click the finish button and come to me, then I'll circle back with you and we'll get it really rolling.
Cool. So if you don't mind, share your desktop. I want to go into the advice engine first, the place where you create the TCA, and then I'm going to have you pull up a TCA of your choosing that you think would be a good story and strategy to share. But I want to just make sure everyone on the call is tuned in to a few things. I'll tell you when I see your screen.
Sure.
All right, go into the advice engine real quick, where you create the TCA.
Okay.
I'll tell you when I see it. Okay, cool. So first of all, guys, I want to remind you in the upper right-hand corner, you can add a video. And Scott, what percentage of the time are you adding a video, clicking on that record video button?
I do it 100% of the time, unless I'm doing it live, unless I'm doing it with them. Sometimes I'll build it on the phone right then and there. And depending if I think I need to cement them in and they're kind of if they're a wanderer, I call, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to get them right now. And I will do it. I'll say, give me like 2 minutes here. I'm going to give you some information right now with the phone. What's your email address? And I zip it up, put it together, and I'll just go through with them live as opposed to doing the video. Every one I send.
So
all the other times I send a video.
Preview and live highlight in the upper right-hand corner. You use that button a lot?
Yeah, I use it all the time. I always do it live.
Okay, guys. So remember, those are the superpowers. And where you see toolbox, you see record video, upper right-hand corner, preview, highlight. Guys, those should be your best friends. If you want to be a mortgage planner, always deliver options and make those buttons your buddies. Click on setting just above that. Click on settings. So I want you guys to make note, this is a top producing mortgage professional who's created 840 TCAs. So he is a black belt, not a grandmaster yet. Still got to get to 1,000 TCAs to hit our highest achievement. But guys, look at that. Reports viewed, 7,812. That's how many times a family, a realtor, a financial planner, a buddy who's a real estate investor, that's how many times people have clicked on his total cost analysis. So that's like 10x. So like he's averaging for every time he sends a link to a family, either the family's looking at it multiple times and the people that influence that family are looking at it. So he's 10xing, well, 9xing his influence. So that's, by the way, that's an impressive multiple, 800 and that. So that's high. And just our community network average is 3x, and anything over 5x is like you're doing a great job of positioning the link and using it in a way that the client understands it. So real quick, Scott, you see where it says that you see the badge? Don't click on the badge where it says you're a black belt, but then it says TCAs created with a box and an arrow. If you click on that box and arrow. Right there, yeah, that little box.
Right here? That one?
No. See, there's a box. That's the one right there with the box and the arrow. So I just want to remind you, the reason we create so much social media like this is to help you go from white belt, orange belt, blue belt, purple belt. And Scott, I want you to kind of think back to when you first started using Mortgage Coach. Where do you think it was where you started really, okay, this is easy. This is saving me time. Where in your Mortgage Coach journey did it really become a requirement and an efficiency enhancer?
Yeah, it probably took between around 6 months to 9 months when I first started using it to get really proficient and good at it and quick at it. It didn't take me 6 to 9 months to get proficient good at it, but as I started to use it and recognize, wow, it's so much easier to use it than to try to explain to someone what the costs are. And it's so much quicker and it's so much more clear, and it creates so much more trust with the client. You can talk about other things as opposed to trying to compare like you said, a good faith estimate with the credit union to what you have to offer. And so once I realized, oh my God, I can't live without this, and I don't know how anybody in our community can live without it. I don't know how they do it. I'm just crushing.
They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah, they don't know. I'm crushing the guys from Chase and B of A and the credit unions almost every day with this, because people are looking at it and go, oh, they just love it. It's so clear. It's so great. So once I started using it a lot, it was no time at all. 20 days, 30 days before I'm like, okay, let's figure out the nuances, figure out my process for making it work. I like the bar graphs to go in one direction all the way up or all the way down. I don't like it to be one high, one low, one high, one low.
Well, let's do that real quick. So close that out. One more thing before we go looking at TCA. And guys, we're going to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. I want you to go to the homepage real quick. Go click on Mortgage Coach logo in the upper left. And I want to see if you're using strategy templates. So click on that. And
I'm not.
You're not using strategy templates yet?
No. So.
Okay, well, guys, you see right to the left of automated. Click on automated real quick, because I just want to remind folks, Scott's with a company that's got an integration with, all their tech, Optimal Blue, Social Survey. They're using Mortgage Coach really efficiently. Click to strategy templates. I want to push anybody and everybody that's a Mortgage Coach. This is the biggest time saver in Mortgage Coach. If you use these strategy templates, it will literally takes me 5-10 minutes to create TCA to it takes you 30 seconds. So Scott, I would recommend you play with that. If you need me, if you want to have our success manager help you, let me know on that. So let's go into one TCA and just have you give us a little tour. And I want you to give a tour as though you were kind of explaining it to a realtor. Like, how would you explain the value to an agent? And if you could pull it up real quick.
Okay. You mean to pull up a purchase one?
Whatever, you know. I mean, that's probably the one that you'd use to
Yeah.
do the real estate value. And guys, one of the reasons why I'm going to ask Scott to do this is a big trend we're seeing in the mortgage coach community. And I just posted an article on LinkedIn, is we're having loan officers do everything from a Zoom and Learn, where they're teaching strategies to agents. Like, hey, let me show you how I turned refis into move-ups. Or they're doing Zoom calls or Facebook Lives with realtors to their customer base. And the two most common are rent versus own for first-time home buyers and move up for existing homeowners. So we're seeing a big trend of mortgage coach loan officers creating content and using mortgage coach to teach that stuff. By the way, are you doing anything like that, Scott?
I'm not doing any lunch and learns or Zoom learns for realtors at the moment. I haven't done much of that at all.
No problem. So show us what you got and just give us a quick tour, and then let's wrap this up.
Sure.
And I'll tell you when I see it. It looks like it's refreshing right now. And
it's coming.
Here we go. So tell us what you were kind of describing some things, and I want you to describe it while people can see it, and we can see your screen now.
Sure. So this was a first-time buyer, and he's looking at buying a duplex, or he's looking at buying a potentially just a home at different price points. And a duplex, he said, like, I have 150K in the bank, but I don't want to spend it all. And so what I try to do here is give him a comparison between, a duplex with a conventional loan versus an FHA loan, which is a lot less money required, but a lot more per month. And then he also said to me, well, what if I buy something that's only in our house of 750 that's not a duplex? And what if I want to buy something that's 500K? And so we were all over the map. He's first-time buyer, millennial, 26, 27 years old. So, doing really well with his job, making a lot of money, and trying to, get in the market and start building wealth and investing in real estate. And so we're having a wide conversation of, this is what I'm looking at, this is what I'm thinking. And I'm like, okay, well, here are the numbers, and here's how I think about it. I own, some real estate, I own some condos, I own some units, I own some piece of his apartments. And here's kind of how I think about it and how I look at it. You got to live somewhere. You're either renting now, or in this case, I think he's living with his parents. So I couldn't do the rent versus own analysis for him. So this was a bunch of different strategies, kind of going a bunch of different directions for getting a millennial who's also going a bunch of different directions.
Love it. So if you could forward me a link to this. Anyone who wants to look at this TCA in more details, there'll be a link in show notes. Remember, we'll have a link to the words, the phrases. We'll also have a link to this TCA. I do want to call out, if you notice in the bottom left-hand corner, Scott's company has an integration with Social Survey. So all of his top reviews are showing in the Mortgage Coach report. Do you like that integration, Scott? Is that adding value for you?
I love it. And when I'm talking to somebody and I don't feel like they're going to ask me the question, what do I do next? They're like still thinking about it. I say, hey, if you're not sure that, about me or my company, just go to the bottom left of the page and see those stars. Feel free to read about what my clients are saying about me. And then maybe that'll help you make a better decision, or help you make your decision on who you want to use.
Guys, that's a new Mortgage Coach script. I'm going to be adding that to the black belt best practices, that when you're walking people through the TCA. Now, it sounds like you don't do that every time. You only doing that if you feel like you need a little push. Is that accurate?
The conversation is not, if I'm I mean, you can tell when you talk to people, you spend 5 or 10 minutes on the phone with them and you're asking the right questions. You can tell whether they're engaging in what what you're doing or not. And most of my clients are like, okay, what do I need to do next? Say, well, go right up to the top left corner and there's a link there to my website where
Wait, let's see that. Go up to the top corner. I want to see that. Oh, you're talking about your website, not
yeah,
the TCA.
yeah.
Got
So
it. So by the way, you can add a link to the TCA to your application. I don't know if you know that, Scott, but that could be added to the top
okay,
of this TCA.
that's great. And then I will, and then if it's not going as well as I like, and they're still like, well, I'm gonna think about it, I'm gonna talk to my wife, or I'm gonna check with the other guy I talked to, then I'll direct them, well, that's wonderful. No pressure here. I'll be here when you're ready. And if you're wondering on what I do and how I work, and what other people, my clients are saying about me, let me just point you down to the bottom left, and you can read about what people are saying about my service and the process that I take people through.
So I love that. So a couple closing thoughts before we wrap up today's interview. I'm gonna share my screen really quick now, and just share another thing that we're seeing a lot of loan officers do. I already mentioned it, and I just published this on LinkedIn, so I would push everybody in the community, check this out. It's a playbook on how to take the strategy that Amber shared, how to turn refis into listings and buyers for agents. And we just walk you through a playbook with scripts. And my purpose for this is I've had a lot of loan officers talk about, hey, I want to do more Facebook Lives with my agents. I want to help my agents get listings. I want to help my agents sell more homes. And so I really created this playbook because not only is Amber going to start doing that with her agents, but I had Michelle Castle, a bunch of other, Dan Keller is going to do this. So I created this playbook just to make it super simple for you guys to do that. It even has Amber's script here. We did a highlight. Remember I told you, while I did a 1-hour interview with Amber, we created like 3 or 4 different highlights. We call them mortgage coach clips. So here's a link to a 7-minute piece on it where Amber just talks about this move up strategy. So guys, I'll put a link to that down below. Scott, I'm going to push you. My only ask, and again, you don't have to say yes, but if you do end up doing a Facebook Live or a Zoom with a realtor and using Mortgage Coach as an educational tool, let me know. I want to hear about it. You cool with that?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
And you will start using the how's this home working out for you with your refi prospects?
Say that again.
You will start asking the question, how's this home working out for you?
100%. 100%. That's a fantastic idea. I mean, if you don't, one of my goals for every year is to generate commissions for my referral partners, and I track it. What doesn't get measured doesn't get done. And one of my goals is to generate, transactions or listings and buyers for my agents. And I'm at 200 grand already this year in commission.
Boom. Well, hopefully this idea will spike it and add another 200 grand by the end of the year.
This will help for sure.
Yeah.
Great idea.
So guys, we went almost 45 minutes. We're going to break this into 2. So we're going to have a full 43-minute interview. There'll also be a 10, 15-minute version where we just crushed those questions. If you got value from this interview, like it in YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're viewing it. And if you have a question, let us know. Scott, dude, super appreciate you, brother. You always bring a lot of value.
Right back at you. I appreciate it. Can't thank you enough for making it fun. I mean, this is a kind of a generational time in our business, and if you're not taking advantage of it and kind of refining your process and building your book of business and acquiring more clients, we're in the helping people business and a client acquisition business. This is a 1 in every 20 to 25 year occurrence. So balance your life, take advantage of it, be positive, be happy, be grateful, be humble, and be hungry. Make it happen.
Love that, guys. That's from the #1 producer at his company. and one of the top loan officers of the country, and he just gave you the playbook to kill it. So get out there, get after it. Thanks again, Scott.
Thanks, Dave.